everybody, it's me Zombie, and today I'm going to be talking about some tips that I use to help plan a new cosplay. Congratulations, you did it! You picked the character that you want to cosplay. Whether you're doing it alone or with friends, you're gonna need to plan this thing. If you don't know where to start, no worries my friends, I've got you covered. I'm gonna give you some tips that I use to plan my own costumes, but by all means, pick and choose what works for you because everyone is different. Hey, as long as you get the costume done in time for the con and you haven't busted your budget, then who cares? You did it and you're awesome. Hopefully some of these tips will help you plan your own awesome costume. I am just starting a Junkrat costume from Overwatch. I'm doing a gender bent version. I'm really excited about it. The first thing I do is I gather reference pictures of the character that I want to cosplay. I go online, just search it on Google and download as many as I can. I put those pictures in a folder on my desktop or on my phone so I can pull them up if I'm at the craft store or if I'm in my shop and can't get to my computer. Then I can just pull them up and look at them, and it's really convenient. If you're a physical paper kind of person, then by all means print out pictures of your costume. You can pin them up in your workshop so when your hands are covered in contact cement or super glue, you don't have to touch your very expensive phone to look at pictures and get super glue on your phone, because I've totally never done that before. The only thing that's better than looking online for reference pictures is actually getting a screen cap from your character, either from the movie, game, or book, or whatever that you can possibly get. Me, for example, I'm cosplaying from Overwatch, so the best thing to do would be to go in the game and hit screen cap a bunch of times when I'm looking at a character's picture that is a little bit more high res than something that I might find on Google. After collecting references for the costume, I make a mental note of kind of how I'm going to make everything, and that is while I'm looking at the physical picture. If you're more of a writey down kind of person, I definitely make physical lists too, and sometimes I'll even doodle out the character, doodle certain parts of the costume, do color swatches with color pencil or markers, and it just kind of helps to get everything that you're thinking out on paper just so you don't forget anything. Say for example, if you have a really good idea on how to make something but you're afraid that you might forget it, writing it down on a list may help you out. Another question to consider is make or buy. Is a part of your costume or your entire costume popular enough to where it is mass produced and maybe it is easier and not as expensive for you to just buy that piece of the costume or your entire costume compared to making it yourself? Maybe it is. Do your research and you will save lots of money. If you are looking at a part of your costume and you are not quite sure how to tackle it, look up tutorials. There are tutorials everywhere. Blogs, websites, Facebook, and let's not forget there's this really cool website called YouTube that has a bunch of really awesome video tutorials. If you just type in the thing that you're making into that little search bar, then lots of results might pop up. So watch a bunch of tutorial videos. Hey, even if the video isn't about the exact thing that you're making, you are guaranteed to learn something by watching someone else do it. Don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. Someone else has likely already made something really similar to what you're planning on making, and you can use tips and advice from what they've made and incorporate it into your own work. It's smart to not only plan on how you're going to make the costume and what materials you're gonna need, but how much you're gonna be spending on the costume. Doing your research on materials and planning in advance is going to save you a lot of money on working on your costume. For example, looking at Junkrat, I see that he's got this crazy hair that I'm gonna have to style a wig for, so I wanna get a higher quality lace front wig, probably from Arta, which is gonna cost me probably around $60 to $70. I'm also seeing that he's got this charcoal effect on his face, shoulders, and the top of his chest. I'm gonna have to get some body paint that I can put in my airbrush so it can be airbrushed on me when I'm wearing a costume. I see that he has these canisters on his chest that I'm planning on making out of craft foam, and some of the finer details I may make in smaller craft foam or even Worbla. I see that he has a belt with a flask that looks like it has like a fabric container accent on it, and then a bag on the back. I see lots of buckles on the bag. I'm probably gonna need a buckle for the belt itself and to attach the flask. Gonna need some more craft foam for that belt. Look at those shorts. They look like I can just get some green camouflage shorts or maybe some plain white shorts. I can dye them green, add the camo onto them since they're such a unique color. I'm gonna have to airbrush the bottom of those shorts. I'm gonna have to make those patches from scratch. I'm gonna wanna get some fabric details and hand stitch them onto the shorts so it looks authentic. Crazy knee leg thing, I'm gonna wanna get like a silver pant legging to put on that leg. And then I'm gonna wanna put all those details on with foam and or Warbler and attach them to my knee. And that robot arm speaks for itself. I'm probably gonna have to make that out of craft foam. Looks like he's got a little sleeve under the robot arm that I have to put on over my arm. And as I work my way up the arm, I see that there is a tattoo. I am going to have to design and purchase that tattoo online and probably get a couple or a few of those sent to me so I can wear them multiple times. Then I see he has a tire on his back that I'm gonna have to make out of craft foam, and it looks like those spiky bits I might have to make out of Warbler. And there's even more details on the back. For the leg, I can use some white fabric that I already have left over from my Ray costume, but I'm gonna have to weather it in acrylic. Probably gonna use wrap for around the chest so I get a little bit more coverage in that area. And oh, the other hand, there is a glove, which I'm gonna have to use some stretchy green material for, and there is another bracelet thing that I can probably make out of craft foam. Gonna need some paint for that arm, some orange acrylic paint that I am fresh out of. Gonna need some more metallic paint. Oh man, he's got such cool props. I'm not sure if I wanna do anything more than the tire for right now. So it's already a pretty expensive costume. That's before we get to any of the other props. Another thing to think about when planning your costume is where are you gonna take this costume? Are you going to a local con or are you going across the country? It's important to consider because this can add to your budget. Flying with a big costume like T-60 Power Armor from Fallout can cost you anywhere from $200 to $300. Also, not procrastinating will save you from having to spend big chunks of money all at once. If you're planning this costume out over a couple of weeks or a couple of months, then you can buy a piece of the costume here and there and it's much more friendly on your budget. Those are some tips that I use when I'm planning my own costume. What do you guys like to do to plan your costume? Go ahead and post it down below. And if you are feeling so inspired, share with me your cosplay plans right here on my social media, which is right down below in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy cosplay making awesome fun times, and I will see you next week. Bye!